Right then, welcome back to the garage, welcome back to the ongoing Harley saga. Today is the day. So here in the UK, motorcycles and cars that are over 3 years old have to go through an annual sort of roadworthiness test. It's called the MOT test, and today, for the Harley, is MOT day. Now I'm not going to film it because it's a mile up the road. I'm just going to sling my jacket on, take it up there, get it done, but I will be back with the hopeful results of what happens in the next half an hour. Catch you in a minute. Right, welcome back. So we're back from the garage, back from the MOT, and great news. It passed second time around. First time it failed on the rear tyre only, which, bearing in mind those tyres are 15 years old, we thought they were spectacular. And the number plate being the wrong size. So with a new number plate and a set of tyres put on, we're now good to go. We're road legal. We're ready for some proper Harley adventures. What that means, I've got no idea, but we'll do something. So I think one thing we're going to do from having ridden it out on the road is we are going to put some baffles in those exhausts because they are ridiculously loud. Apart from that, we're pretty much good to go. So stand by for some Harley related content. Catch up with you later. So morning, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the garage, welcome back to the Harley. Now, as you'll know by now, the Harley is MOT'd, taxed, insured, out on the road. We've been riding it about, we've been to a few bike nights, and it's all going, we're going to use the word well, and it's all running. She's got still a few little issues, so the fuel light keeps coming on. We don't really know why. It may just be that we're still running some clean fuel through all the pipes, through all the workings. It might still be settling down. The neutral light is failing when it gets hot, but we think we might have solved that. Might just have been some loose connectors from when we took things off. So it's all going good, but she is still running a bit like a bucket of spanners. And one thing we didn't do when we took everything off is we didn't change the gaskets on the exhaust. We just put the exhaust back onto the old gaskets. So I think maybe there's some air getting in somewhere, or it's not quite sealed properly, or something's not quite right. We've also got some baffles because it is ridiculously loud. We all like a loud bike, you know, loud pipes save lives, as they say, but there's loud and there's just a little bit offensive, especially living out in the country, going through the quiet villages on a Sunday evening on the way back from a bike meet. It's a little bit on the noisy side. So we're going to put some quiet baffles in that we've got and change the gaskets and see if that makes her run a little bit better. She's a bit poppy, a bit bangy on the overrun, stuff like that. So let's see if we can make these changes. Now, they're saying that this job should take about half an hour. So stand by for a 4-part series on how not to change gaskets and how to have a fight with a Harley, because that's how it's been every step of the way so far. Let's get on with it, see what happens. Right, so first job, let's whip off these chrome covers so they don't get damaged, so they're out of the way for when we put the baffles in, and take the pipes off to get the gaskets in. Wow, these are all loose. All these bolts are quite loose. I might need to reapproach these with the Loctites. Yeah, we'll put different size bolts all the way along just to make it as awkward as possible. 3/4 inch surely. Nope. Nope. 14 mil. Of course it is. Ones on the back are a 1/2 inch. These ones are 14 mil. Why not? Why not, eh? That should come off now, shouldn't it, surely? What size is this one? We ask ourselves. Yeah, same. So, we have discovered on attempted removal that none of these bolts were really particularly tight. So that might be part of the problem. But this bike shakes so violently that it shakes all the bolts out. But now here's a trick for you. Put this underneath, because every single time the bolts fall out, and this will catch it and stop it disappearing into the engine like it does every single time. I'm trying to get these nuts off. There you go. It's dropped onto the bit of paper, and just pick it up, because they are a pain in the arse once they disappear into the engine. So this pipe should come off now. There you go. Beautiful. Remembering, of course, to disconnect our government's favourite O2 sensor, which you can do quite easily because you can reach it from the other side. There we go. Beautiful. So the gasket doesn't look too bad. There's a little bit of a nick in it. There's a little bit of a nick in it up in this corner here. Just there. This one's pretty fried, I would say. I don't think that is part of the design. Whether or not that was letting air in, I don't know. It seems pretty sealed. It seems pretty sealed around the top here. But we're going to put some new ones on. What I've been advised to do is just to pull the old gasket out using a little bit of a pick, just gently, and just make sure we get it all out. Wow, it's in there pretty good, but that needs to come out. So I'm going to get to a place where I can see a bit better, and we'll get that out. Wow. So here's a little tip that I picked up from the tube, and that's if you're going to fit these gaskets, stick them in the freezer overnight. Just shrinks them that little 1,000th of an inch. Enables you just to slot them into the holes much easier. This is what I've been told. This is what we're about to find out, because that's what I did. So let's find out if that makes the job easier or not. Right, so while we've got these pipes off, we might as well get the baffles in. Start by undoing this screw here. The supercar baffles have got a solid cap on the end. Is there a baffle in there? I was told there were no baffles in there. But there are baffles in. There we go. Wow. That's a big old lump of metal. Nice. To be replaced by this much smaller lump of metal. Ow! That's hit me right in the a baffle to the balls. We're going to see if we can use the other baffle, which is the same size as the pipe, obviously, to knock these in. Okay, so let's go. Oh, that baffle's loose in there. Interesting how this is a loose one. Seems loose compared to the other one. There we go. Beautiful. Oh, I just want to come out. Ching! If anyone wants an old baffle for a set of Vance and Hines, then I've got them in my garage. See if we can get this one in lined up. Try and get the bolt lined up to the hole when we put it in. Biff, baff, boff. Pretty much lined up. Pretty much lined up. Again, we use the old baffle on the end of the new baffle, and that'll give us Exactly something the right size. Genius. I'm a genius sometimes. Sometimes I surprise myself. Right then, let's get these gaskets out of the freezer, see if they just drop in like I've been told they're going to. That doesn't fit in there if you ask me. I think that's a piece of Chinese copy rubbish, and they said they were proper OEMs. But really, we wouldn't expect anything else from this Harley, would we? We wouldn't really expect it just to drop in, slip on and be all perfect now, would we? Look, they fit straight in. Better than the other ones, that's for sure. Well, there you go. Just 20 minutes later, give or take a couple of hours, and those exhausts are back on with the baffles, with the gaskets that don't really fit properly, but we'll get some more and we'll do it again with nice clean hands, and only a few injuries. They're back on and we're ready to start her up for the first time with hopefully sealed pipes with the new gaskets in and the quiet baffle. So let's see how much difference that makes. So I think what's happening is the inner heat shield has slipped. You can see in there, kind of up there, where the heat shield has slipped, and I think it's getting a bit too hot for those pipes. So we'll take those off again tomorrow and just adjust them a little bit once they're cooled down. Well, what a beautiful day. And there you have it. The Sportster's back on the road, MOT'd, serviced, sorted, all the spare parts it needed. As you've seen, it's taken about a year, all in all, just to get through everything from living for 9 years in a wet Welsh garage to being back out on the road in this beautiful Somerset countryside. Couldn't be better. The roads around here are pretty much made for this sort of bike. 50 mile an hour, plodding around, wind in your hair, sun in your face, off for a pint of cider, non-alcoholic obviously. As you know, this is the 1200 Harley Sportster 2009, so it's an Evo engine, air-cooled V-twin, 4-stroke, does about 67 brake horsepower, about 100 Newton meters of torque. So it's all about the torque with this bike really. It's not about high speeds or sports bike riding, but that pull of the torque, and the sound of the engine is amazing, and it's just designed for roads around here when the sun is out and the roads are dry. I'll try and add up exactly what it's cost me so far to get this bike from the Welsh wet garage to the condition it's in now. It's not finished. There's a few little cosmetic bits and pieces that we'd like to change. I think if I'm honest, a set of bar risers is in order just to get us sitting a little bit more upright. Anything over 60 miles an hour is a nightmare. But I don't really want to put a fairing and a screen on it because I think that'll spoil the look of it. But let me know what you think if you've got an opinion on that. Otherwise, stand by for some more countryside capers aboard the Harley, but thank you for following this journey. It's been a learning curve for me, still learning, still finding out things about how it behaves, what it does, and the character of this bike. It is completely different from anything I've ever ridden. But thanks for sticking around, and we'll catch you on the next one.